Hello everyone, I am Neelam Choudhary, your host for the web series Django Project Based Learning. So, in this series, you will learn Django with the help of the project. So, before we jump into today's topic, do me a favor. Give that like button a quick tap, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I hope you have subscribed my channel. So, if you have subscribed, let us begin with today's topic. So today we will talk about the models. Models will come into the picture whenever you want to interact with the database. Means you want to retrieve the data from the database, you want to store the data, delete or update the data, then we go for the models. So till now we had studied URL, views and the template. Today we'll see how the view file it interact with the models as well. Okay. So whenever you will talk about the models in Django, you will hear a term object relational mapping. So object relational mapping, what it does, it will automatically create a database schema where you define classes or the models, and it allows the developers to work with a database using the similar syntax of the programming languages. It also have the tools which help us to perform the CRUD operations. CRUD operations means create, read, update and delete. Don't worry if you have not understood anything. Let us understand in the next slide. Okay. So let us take very simple example. Suppose we are running the classes. So you will have to maintain the records of the students like the name, email, phone number, and you will keep it where? In the register. Similarly, whenever you are creating a website, you will have to save the data in your database. Okay. Suppose you have a website where you are storing the information of the students. So you will create one model named student. In that you will hold the details like name, email, phone number and birthday. Okay. And whenever we are creating any fields, like in Python, whenever we are storing some data, it has a data type. Over here also, we will have to specify the fields type. Like name will be the character field. For the character field, you have to specify the maximum length. Otherwise, it will give you the error. For email, it will be the email field. For the phone numbers, it is integer field. Birth date, it will be the date field. Okay. So after you have created a model, what you want to do? You want to create this particular database, this kind of model in your database. So you will run one command, that is pymanage.py make migrations. So when you will run this command, it will automatically create the SQL query for you guys. Okay. So that is why when I was explaining about the prerequisite, I said even if you don't know SQL, do not worry, the ORM will take care of that feature. Okay. When you will run this command, automatically this class will be converted into the SQL query. Like create table student, it will create the ID. Since you have not created any primary key, automatically Django will create a field name ID as a primary key. If you make any of the field as a primary key, then this will not be created. Okay. Now, second is a name which is varchar 20, email field, phone, integer and this. So this class has been converted into the SQL query. But you want to do what? You want to create a table as well. So for that, you will run the command pymanage.py migrate. So this will do what? Earlier, it has only created the query. Now it will execute those query. It will create your table. Okay. And what will be the name of the table? Whatever is the name of the application. This model you will create in some application. Whatever is the name of the application underscore whatever model name you have given student, so it's the student. Like this way, a table will be created automatically. And then we'll do the operations of adding the data, deleting the data, update and filter, all such kind of operations we can do. So now if you have understood this, let us do this practically with the help of the VS Code editor. So I want to create the project in this folder. So I will open this with the help of the VS Code editor. Open the terminal. You should create a project in the virtual environment. Now I will be creating the project directly in the global environment only. Since I am going to create the project in the global environment, I should have what? Django within my system. So to check, what is the command? Django admin -- version. If you don't have Django, you will install Django with the help of the command pip install Django. Next thing is what? Create a project with the help of the command Django admin start project, and the name of the project, let it be episode 12, okay, space and a dot. Whatever name you want, you can give it to the project. Let us create the application py manage.py start app. Let the name of the application be app1. Whatever name you want, you can give it. After you have created application, what you will do? You will go inside the project in the settings.py file. You will add your application. What is the name of the application? App1. Next thing, you will create the URLs. I will create the URL directly in the project since I want only one URL. So, I will write on the home page. It should call the function home. Let me give the name, which is optional. And since I'm going to call the views will be from which? Application 1. So, from app 1, import views. So, whenever you will run the server, okay, it will check whether we have a home function. So, we'll go in the application 1 and we'll create that function over here. F home request return HTTP response hi. Let us run the server and check whether everything is working properly. What is the command to run the server? py manage.py run server. You will run this command from the path where you have a manage.py file. Okay. Let us see if it is working properly or not. Run the home page. I should be able to see. Hi, see. It is working properly means when I am clicking on that particular link, it is calling the function home in the views.py file, and that home function is giving the HTTP response hi. Okay. Now let us start with the models. Suppose you want to save the data in the database, you are supposed to create a model. So within the application, you will go in the models.py file and you will start writing the code. We will create a class. Since it will hold the student's information, we will give the name a student, which will inherit it from models.model. And we want the name field, which will be models.care field. And we are supposed to give the maximum length over here. So let me give the maximum length, suppose 40. Whatever you want, you can give it. Then email is equal to models dot. It will be the email field, IELD. Okay. If you want, you can give the maximum length over here as well. Phone number equal to models dot. You can give integer field or positive integer field. Let me give integer field, FIELD. And then comes the birth date, which is models dot date field. Okay. Python, whenever we create an object of a class and we try to print that object, what it does, it shows you the memory location. That is why we were using the string representation of that object. Similarly, over here also, whenever you want to see the object, what it will do, it will give you that object 1, object 2, object 3. But if you want to have the proper representation of that object, you can use string representation. It is totally optional. If you want, you can do it. If you don't want, don't go for it. Okay. It is just the representation of your object. So suppose I will represent self.name I want to show. Okay. So for every object, it will show the name. Now you have created this class. Just writing the class will not create the table in your database. What you are supposed to do, you are supposed to run two commands. pymanage.py make migrations and pymanage.py migrate. Okay. So let us run that command. pymanage.py make migrations. So this command will do what? It will create the SQL query for you. Okay. So for this particular class, it must have created the query. If you want to see that query, what you will do? You will write pymanage.py sqn migrate. It is just to show you the query. You are not supposed to run it if you don't want to see. App1, that is application name. And the migration file is what? 0001, which has been created. So 0001. Okay. See, it is this query that has been created. Can you see? So for this table, this SQL query has been created. Now what you want to do? You want to, you have created the query. Now you want to execute the query. So you will write pymanage.py migrate. Okay. So this will do what? It will create the table in your database. So what are the two commands? As soon as you create the model, you should run make migrations command. Where is that command? Make migrations command. That will create the SQL query, and pymanage.py migrate command that is going to execute those query and create a table in the database. Now, if you want to see that table in the database, what you can do? We can see it in the admin panel. For that, you should create a super user. How do we create a super user? pymanage.py create super user. Now you will understand the admin panel. See, till now, this path was been provided by Django, but we have never used it. Today, we will use it. So it is asking for the username. Let me give Neelam. Email address, neelam@gmail.com. Password, 123456. 123456. Yes. Now let us run the server. You will not be able to see the table now also. I will tell you how you will be able to see, but remember the steps. When you will run the server, this time we will make the use of the admin panel. See, when you will go on /admin, which site will open? Admin site will open, which is provided by Django. /admin. Okay. Whatever username you had provided over there, same username you provide. In case you forget the username and the password, what you will do? Again, create a super user. As many super as user you want, you can create. Okay, don't worry. Now, see, I cannot see my model over here. Why I cannot see? Because once you have created the table in the database, you have to register that particular model as well. So, you come over here, go to the admin.py and register your model with the help of admin.register. What is the name of your model? Student. And then create a class. Whatever name of the class you want, you can give it. Normally what we do, whatever the name of the model is there, and we write admin. Okay. It will be from admin dot model. Okay. And list display. Now you can display in the form of a list or a tuple. Let me display in the form of a tuple. Okay. So over here you will mention the fields that you want to see in the admin panel, like ID, because I know it will be created by Django. Name field. This field we are writing it from the models.py file. Okay. See, the name has to be same. You cannot do any spelling mistake. Here it is name. You will write name. Suppose you want to see the email field as well. You will write email. Okay. So now let us go to the admin panel and check. Let us refresh it. Student. Okay. It is because from app1.models, from this file, import the student class. Okay. You see. Now in the app1, we can see the model student. Now if you want to add the data, you can click on add student. You can add the data like Rahul, mail ID, rahul@gmail.com. Phone number, let us write some phone number. Let us select any date of birth. Save and add another. I will add one more. Neelam @gmail.com. Any random phone number, date of birth. Save. So can you see over here? I can see the ID, name and the email. Suppose you want to see all the fields. So which fields are remaining? Let me write phone number. You will copy from the models file. Okay. There should not be any spelling mistake over here. And what is the other field? Birth date. So whichever fields you will write, you will see over there. Let us refresh it. The name, email, phone number, birth date. If you want to delete, you can delete as well. Like this way. Okay. So from the admin panel, you can add the data, you can delete the data as well, or update the data in the admin panel. Okay. Now, suppose all this data you want to fetch and you want to show it in the HTML page. Okay. That is what you are going to do in the real life now. So let us come over here in the views.py file and let us write. First of all, fetch all the data. How do we fetch all the data? We write the name of the model, that is student dot objects dot all. If you want to see that particular object, what you can do, write print data. So you will be able to see the data as well. And it is from the models file, import student. Okay. So now if you will do this, okay, to the website and print this. So now can you see? It is giving you the data student.objects.all. It will fetch all the data, and the data we have given the representation as what? It should give self.name. That is why I have got for this object the name, that is student. Okay. Now let me add 2-3 more datas. Let me go to the admin panel. Let me add some data over here. Added some data over here. Now when you will hit the server, see, we are having how many objects? 1 object, 2 object and 3 object. Okay. So this student.objects.all will fetch all the data of your database. Okay. After you have all the data, what you are supposed to do? See how the data is there. If you want to see that as well, how it is stored, write print data so you can understand the format as well. Come over here, refresh the screen and see. See. So this is the data. How is the data? It is in the form of a list. Can you see? And in the list, the first data, it is in the form of a dictionary. So the first object, data is in the form of dictionary. See. So for this class student, how many objects we have created so far? We have created 3 objects. And for every object, we will have the name, email, phone number and birth. So the data will be in the form of a list. Let me show you. The data is in the form of a list, and how many objects we are having? 3 objects. So first object data is in the dictionary. So ID is created automatically. ID1, name of the first object, email, phone number, birth date. Then for the next object, again ID, name, email and this. So the data will always be in the form of a list. First object data will be in the dictionary. Second object data will be in the dictionary. So this is how the data is. Now what we want to do? We want to show this data in the HTML. So we will pass this data. So go in the views.py file and we want to show in the HTML file. So we will do return render. The object that we are using is request, and suppose we will call home.html file. We will create now, and we want to pass this data because I want to see this data, and the data should always be passed in the form of what? Dictionary, because we know it is in the form of a list. We'll convert this in the form of dictionary. So this will become the value, and the key is what? Data. So let us come over here. In the application, let us create a folder templates, and inside templates we will have home.html. Let us create a file home.html. Okay, and now I want to show the data over here. Let me write model. Okay, since it will have multiple data, what we should do? We should apply a for loop. So integer for each item in, what is a key that you have given? It is data. With the help of key, we can access the data. So means the list will come over here. So in the list, we want to show what? First, let me end the for loop as well. Okay. So in the list, I want to show the first data ka. There is a models.py file. Let us see what fields we are having. Let me open it over here. Okay, so for the first each item, I want to see the name. Then what I want to see? I want to see the email. Whatever field you want to see, you will access this. But writing in double curly braces means it will print in the output, okay? You want the phone number and the date of birth as well. Phone number, name you will copy from there only. If you do a spelling mistake, you will not be able to render it, okay? So what we are doing it over here, when we are passing the data, we know the data will be passed in the form of a list. So this each item will go to the first item, which is nothing but a dictionary. So I want to show the name. So it is what? Each item dot the key of that value. What is the key? Name. For the email, phone number, birth date. Okay. So like this way. Now let us see on the browser, and can we see all this data? See the name. Let me give the BR tag as well. See name, email ID, phone number, date of birth of the first one. Then again the name, email ID, the phone number. Like this way we can have the data. Now we can show this data in the form of table also, which we'll see in the further operation. So I hope this is clear how we create a models. So to create a model, first you should have a project, you should have the application, then you will go in the models.py file, you will create the model. You can have multiple models. For every model, what will happen? A table will be created whenever you will run migrations and migrate command. Migrations will create the SQL query. Migrate command will execute those queries. Okay. This is just a string representation. And remember, if you are making a simple change like name, I am writing name 1. These changes will not be reflected in the admin panel or in the database till the time you don't run the migrations and migrate command again. Even if you do a small changes in the models file, always run the migrations and migrate command again. Okay. After that, now if you want to see this table in your admin panel, you will create a super user. As many super user as you want, you can create. But this table will not be visible in the admin panel until and unless you register that particular tables. After you have registered that class, then you will be able to see the table. The different methods to register, we have gone for the decorator method, and whichever fields you will write over here, those fields will be visible over there. Okay. Then in the views, whenever you want to fetch the data, we write student.objects.all. It will give you all the data. If you want to filter the data, we can use a filter as well. If you want to get a particular data, we can get the particular data as well. This we will be doing like let us do this also. Suppose from this, okay, suppose I don't want all the data. We want only those data where suppose the ID is 1. Okay. So if you'll have that data, it will show that data to you. Okay. We have this data where the ID is 1. So you can filter that particular. So whichever data where the ID is 1, it will give you that data. Suppose you want to update this, you can update as well. Suppose the data which is having ID 1, and I want to change the name to Priya. Okay. So you have written the command to update. After that, I want to display all the data. Again, student dot objects dot all will fetch all the data, and that data will display. Okay. Let us see if it is working properly. It will change the name to Priya or not. See, the name has changed to Priya. So means it has got all the data where the ID is 1 and the name has been updated to Priya. Similarly, if you want to delete this, okay, you can write instead of update, you can write delete. It DELETE. Okay. Now let us again. So this data should not be there. Let us refresh it. See, only one data and 2 data I'm having. Okay, rest of the data has been deleted. So this we have done it like this way, but in the CRUD operation, we'll see how we can manage it. So I hope you have understood how to create the models, okay, how to render that data of the model and to show it on the HTML page as well. Okay, we will be creating many more models in the projects that we are going to do. Okay, so before we end, kindly like and subscribe the channel as it will boost me to create many more videos, and I will be coming with the next video very soon. Till that time, if you have any doubts in any video, kindly write down in the comment box. I will give you the replies. Thank you. Bye-bye.